Hello everyone, my name's Reewyn and welcome to day 2 of my Dead by Daylight Bootcamp. Today, we're tackling how to hold a chase as a survivor. This is one of the key things that you need to win, regardless of perks, which is something I'll go through in day 5. If you can't hold a chase, you'll get caught faster, which means that your team will lose valuable time. So, what is a chase? A chase is the term for when the killer is actively, chasing you. When doing so, the killer can sometimes have special abilities. As a newbie or someone revising how to play, all you need to do is focus on getting away. Something useful for your chase is the heartbeat system, called the terror radius. A good idea is to turn on visual heartbeats, as it makes it easier to tell. The louder the heartbeat is, and the more clear it is, the closer the killer is. Just be careful, depending on the killer, they can have a smaller or even non-existent terror radius, so try and keep an eye out. Unless someone is already being chased, it's often a good idea to hide just out of sight until the heartbeat reduces significantly. If you're going to hide, however, don't run there and be careful with the grunts of pain. If you run, scratch marks will mark your path for 10 seconds. To run a chase well, you need to learn to always keep an eye on the killer. You can run as much as you want, but if the killer suddenly turns on you and you don't see, that's an immediate game over. Now, to do this, there's a trick that may need practicing. I'm going to teach you a sequence. When you're getting ready to look behind you, you're going to hover your finger over the S key. When you want to look behind, you're going to hold both the W and S keys, and then once you've done this, you're going to spin your camera around and let go of the W key. Do the opposite to return to your regular view. In doing this, you can keep running while looking at the killer. This allows you to predict the killer's moves so they can't pull any sneaky moves on you. The next thing to use to your advantage is windows. If you use them correctly, you can get a good boost ahead of the killer. Vaulting through the window has 3 speeds: slow, medium, and fast. Ideally, in a chase, you want to fast vault, which will only take half a second. For reference, it takes most killers 1.7 seconds to vault, so they'll try and avoid it. In order to do this, you must sprint towards the window straight on within 2.5 meters. Doing a fast vault means you keep your momentum before vaulting and won't slow down at all. However, do not use this vault if the killer doesn't know where you are, as this alerts the killer with a noise notification. A medium vault happens when you don't have enough momentum, aren't sprinting at full speed, or run at the window at an angle, but you're still running towards it. This isn't ideal. The extra 0.4 seconds it takes to vault is not the best, but most importantly, more of your body is exposed, meaning it's easier for the killer to hit you mid-vault. It also gives a noise notification to the killer. Worst of all, you lose all momentum from before, meaning your speed is significantly reduced. In a pinch, you can use it, but you're better off trying to get that 2.5 meter straight run. Finally, a slow vault is, as you guessed it, slow. You enter this by walking towards the window. It takes 1.5 seconds to complete, which is only 0.2 seconds faster than the killer. You're easy to hit, and your momentum is, again, reset once you reach the other side of the window. The only advantage is that it doesn't make a noise announcement to the killer, so if you need to get somewhere stealthily, this is the one to use. Here is a chart so you can visualize it. Now, there's 2 other things to remember when it comes to windows. One is that during a chase sequence, you can only vault through the window 3 times before it gets blocked off, so you can't keep looping around the same area. The way to fix this is to break the chase. The only way to do this are to get far away from the killer or break their line of sight by 35 degrees. A good way to do this is using walls, like this. One thing to remember is that you can be grabbed from the window if you are injured, so be careful. The next thing you need to take advantage of during a chase is the pallets. Now, you need to be careful with these. Once they're thrown out, the killer can break them, meaning it will no longer be available for later. Basically, just don't throw them down whenever. The best way to use a pallet is during a chase, specifically stunning the killer. If you time it so that the pallet falls onto the killer, they will be stunned for 2 seconds and their camera will tilt so it's hard to see. It's a good chance to escape. Otherwise, if you really need it in a chase to block the killer, you can. It's better for you to use the pallet than get caught most of the time. You can often use it as a substitute window since killers tend to not break the pallet, since it takes 2.3 seconds for them to do so, and their camera angle changes to their feet. However, if the pallet has a really good placement, such as blocking stairs in RPD, you should avoid dropping it. It's very powerful with the right timing, and the killer will break it as soon as it comes down. Another note is that sometimes killers will be able to vault over pallets just as fast as you can, so be wary. Now we've learnt both pallets and windows, you can learn how to loop. A loop is a route you can take, or a few together, that you follow to bamboozle the killer. For example, in the killer shack, more about this in day 12, there is a window and a pallet, so you can easily escape the killer's grasp. Just have a bit of caution, and again, watch the killer. If they predict your routes, they can hide and wait for you to come around, like behind the window. One more thing you can add to your loop, though it is not recommended without a specific perk, are drop downs. Essentially, you can sometimes find doors or platforms where you can fall down. It is not ideal, as you do take a moment to get yourself back up again, and the killer can catch up. This is only for a pinch, unless you have balanced landing, but this is for day 5. One tip for when you're in chase, sometimes you get the exposed status, which looks like this. Be careful, this means you'll get knocked down with one hit regardless of your health state. Another tip is to keep an eye out for blocked doors. The killer can break these and break your plan. Remember, if you've been picked up by the killer, you can still wriggle out by hitting skill checks. Even if you don't succeed in wriggling out, it makes the killer's path disturbed and buys more time, which ultimately is what you need as survivors. Time. And so, it's time for the summary. 1. Watch the killer when you're being chased so you don't get tricked. 2. Use your environment to your advantage and outsmart the killer. And 3. Enjoy yourself. At the end of the day, chases are the most intense and engaging parts of the game. And that's it for day 2. Stay tuned for tomorrow, day 3, where we'll be checking out the flip side and learning how to hunt down survivors.